They call you ski out this time.
To kick this haircut off, I'm going in by starting off just lifting the hair up off of the scalp so that it's easier to lay it down. And you want to do this just to prepare the hair so that nothing gaps and you don't take off too much or patch the hair when you start to cut it off. This only sets you up to see exactly what you're working with and give you an overall smoother cut. Now that everything's combed out, I'm gonna go in by starting off just in the front area and knocking the hair down to a 1.5 guard with the lever completely closed. Just getting it low enough so that it stays dark, but also low enough so that it lays down. And this will be the very top of my blend, as well as in the length that I'll leave on the front taper when I go to line it up. And this just gives me that true, almost wavelength, but more so maintain density with the most laid down look also. So it preps the hairline as well as in the side tapers at the very top. Here in the back, I'm taking it to a 1 guard with the lever completely closed, usually because the back is a lot more dense. So I'm just gonna knock it down with a lower guard. And it'll do the same exact effect as well as in give it a more laid down look just because it is the back. So you don't want it to be too much bulk back here. To kick off the side taper, I'm starting off with the lever completely closed at the bottom of the arch and where the ear meets the head. I'm just making like an arched shape, an arched effect, but I'm maintaining that darkness in that C-cup area, as you can see here. Now I'm going up with the lever completely closed in that same arched effect motion, or using the corner of the blade, but maintaining that same shape with the next guideline as well. My next guard, I want to go in with the lever completely open with the number 1 guard, just going up in that same arched shape. And I'm just using the heel of the blade, just blending into whatever is on the top, as well as in setting in my next blending section. Not necessarily even a guideline. Now I'm dropping back down to right up under that one with the lever open, using the lever closed just to nudge at the very bottom of that line where the no guard with the lever completely open was. I know it's not going to do the job of the half guard, but it's going to softly lighten up that line as much as possible before I go back to the half guard or go back down. And as you can see here, that's exactly what I'm attacking with the lever completely closed on the 0.5 guard. I'm using the corner of the blade and I'm just nudging at that line, slowly but surely taking it out. To finish off the taper, I'm using the lever halfway with no guard on, just very lightly nudging at the bottom, taking out the line that the no guard at all with the lever completely closed. The first initial guideline that I put in, and closing the lever as needed and opening it up as needed. As I go higher, I want to open up the lever and vice versa. And this is just gonna completely take out the bottom of that taper transition. The detail work is what sets you apart from most barbers, so I definitely recommend it. And when you detail, all you do is use the corner of the blade, and literally it's like you're just slicing through hair, eliminating dark spots slowly but surely. Here in the back, I'm starting off with the lever completely closed, going up to about the bottom of the ears, or about where the fullest point of the nape area is, and setting in a solid line, just so that I can give myself a reference point. Same exact steps here, only difference is there's a little more space, a little more ground to cover. Here I'm going up, same exact steps with the lever completely open, giving myself about a full inch, just so that I can come back and take these lines back out. 1 guard here with the lever completely open, heel of the blade, using the shape of the head, I'm just scooping out and just trying to get a feel for this taper and knowing that I'm gonna finish off with the 1.5 at the very top. In areas like this, you want to notice indentations and things like that that stand out and make certain areas appear darker than others, and just get an overall feel for the canvas that you're working with. Here, I'm just going to close up the lever, drop down, and follow right up, not as high, but right up under where I was going at first with the lever completely open. Again, slightly lightening up that line under, but at the same time, not expecting it to do exactly what the 0.5 would do. Here at the very top, I'm gonna follow up with a 1.5 with the lever completely closed. And what I notice is this usually blends in pretty well with a 1 with the lever completely closed with the grain. A 1.5 with the lever completely closed against the grain usually is a good follow-up blend. So here I'm topping it off with a 0.5, 1.5 with the lever completely closed. Now I'm going in with the lever completely closed with my 0.5 guard or my half guard here. And like I said, I'm just nudging out that line that the one closed couldn't get out. Taking my time little by little, I'm slowly but surely just erasing as much darkness as possible while still maintaining the darkness at the very top. I opened up the lever here just so that I could be able to work up in higher spaces. Closed it just so that I could detail on the corner and take off a little more hair, but still just detail work. Anything that couldn't be taken out with the one guard at the very top. Something you want to be cautious about is moving on to the next guard before you actually finish using the first guard to its full potential. And so you want to just be able to do as much as possible before you move on, because now if you move on too soon, you're going to have steps that you got to go back and do over again. So here, as you can see, I'm detailing, but I couldn't get out those spots with the half guard, so I had to drop down to no guard at all and use the lever completely open. Here I'm just laying down the hairline with the holding spray, and I follow up with the blow dryer just to lower it up and lock it all in and lay it all down. Here I'm going in behind the ear, and I'm just getting a feel for whatever the most dense area is in the nape area, and I'm finding that, and I'm gonna set in a solid line straight down, as you can see, at its fullest potential, sharp as possible without pushing it in. And then I'll find the very top of the arch and do the same thing and work my way around the ear. On the C cup, I want to find the darkest area or the fullest part of the C cup at the very bottom, and then at the very top, and work my way around that arch and make a natural C from bottom to the top and clean up any extra overhang. And as you can see, that's all you need to make a C cup pop. Same exact thing here. As you can see, the densities, you want to find the fullest area so that you can actually get a line and sharp line, but you don't want to push it back to the most dense area. You just want to get it to the most fullest part where it has density to actually make a line. Sometimes you can actually just comb the hairline back to see exactly where the hairline starts versus where the hair lays over. You want to clean up all the overhang and now just detail any darkness with the trimmer and bald out that taper as much as possible. Same exact steps on the front. You just find a good reference point for me is about the end towards the end of the eyebrow and the eyelid, and I just set in a line there. And as you can see, it's not the darkest, but there is a line there. There's no need to push it all the way back to the most dense area, but at the same time, you do need an actual line, so you need some sort of density, and that's typically around the end of the eyebrow or just about in between the Here in the front, I want to keep in mind the top of the vertical bar, but I also want to find a dense, full area in the front that matches on each side. And so I'll start here and work my way from side to side, from the middle into one side at a time. When applying enhancements, you want to lay the card right at the line and apply from a distance the ink or the dye, and slowly but surely spray little by little. You don't want to hold it too long, and you don't want to end up not keeping the same consistency throughout the full line. And so you want to maintain about the same exact amount of dye in each area according to how much density is in that area. And so you want to do little by little and take a step back and look at it so that you can see the overall look, and slowly or surely apply little by little. Because if you overspray, you'll have to start all the way over. When doing razor work, you want to angle the razor at a 45-degree angle. Stretch the skin with the opposite finger and pull back to the natural line. Using light pressure, but also you want to be able to scrape off any extra dye, any extra fiber, hairspray, dirt, debris, which should have already been taken off. But this will allow you to get anything that the trimmer did not get. And so you do want to take advantage of that, but you also don't want to use too much pressure because you can leave marks or even scars. The way that I think about it is I'd rather stretch the skin too much versus not, and then actually skip the skin and chip out a piece of my client's skin. Might I remind you how my client came in looking, and as his barber, it's my job to show up and show out and give him exactly what he's looking for. This is the final results, and if you like this video, if you learned anything, please share this video with a friend, family member, or fellow barber. Hit subscribe, turn on that bell. My name is Kel, and I'll catch you in the next one.